Hey, when it's Gordon. I trust everyone's having an amazing day, and I want to jump right into it this afternoon. I have a very special guest here at our Land for Success podcast. He's an individual over the last 10 plus years, has not only become an incredible business associate, collaborator, but a really good friend. And this individual, what I love about Dwayne is he's a family man and he absolutely loves to help people. So welcome, Mr. Richards. Dwayne, welcome.
All right. Good afternoon, Gordon. It is a great day. They say it's cold, but just put an extra layer on and get outside and get some fresh air.
Well, I think I bundled up 4 or 5 layers, like you said, before I went out to the grocery store earlier today. So you're right. What's the temperature here in Toronto right now, do you think?
Cold.
It is, isn't it? It's really.
I don't actually said it was bad. I have the Bell smartphone at home at the door. It's like -9, and then it was like minus 14 or something with the wind chill. It's
crazy.
Depends where you are, right? Like you're down by the lake now, so maybe you get the breeze off the lake, and it's a bit
down
cold.
by I'm inside. I'm inside, so I don't really notice how cold it is yet unless I take a peek outside. Listen, let's jump right into this for a minute. Before we get started, I just want to say to any one of our friends who are dropping in later as well, just type a 1 in the comment, you guys. Do me a huge favor. If you guys are here for the very first time at the Land for Success podcast, type a 1 in the comments so we can acknowledge and thank you for being here. And maybe even tell us who you are and where you're from, right? That would be absolutely amazing. So again, Dwayne is somebody that's been known by Google as the #1. So Google actually recognized him as the #1 most trusted CPA advisor in the GTA. So Dwayne, could you share with us a little bit about your professional background and how you got into accounting? Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I'll give you the shorter version, maybe the shorter version. I kind of stumbled upon taxes. And it was when I started my transition from my corporate, like my 20-year corporate accounting career into being self-employed. And, one of the things, Gordon, you kind of look at, and I see it now, is they kind of take an inventory of what you're good at, what skills you're good at. So I liked, as an odd accountant, I liked people and I like numbers. And then when I was getting introduced as a financial advisor, I met some colleagues who also did tax returns for their clients. And it took me a bit to get through that, a couple of years, to realize like, oh, if you're actually offering tax services to your clients, you get to see them every year. And every year, so I just getting emails now from my clients saying, "Hey, we're getting ready to start another tax season." Then I get updated information to say, "Hey, we had a new child, a new baby. I moved, so got a new address." All those things that, as a financial advisor, sometimes it's hard to get from your clients, but they're more openly share those with their tax accountant because it impacts their tax return directly. And it's that it's built in to how we do taxes here in Canada, that every year we have to file. We're in the voluntary tax filing system, but if you've earned income in Canada, you have to file a tax return, and most people get a little bit tired or overwhelmed or just don't want to file it themselves anymore, and then they reach out to me. So it's one of those things, Gordon. I kind of, and we met a long time ago, not a long time ago, but your good friend Joe Garcia posted up saying like people that you meet, and I'm like, oh, back in like 2013. So it's been, we're going into
2013. Wow, it's been
year
over a
13,
decade, right?
It's our 13th anniversary. Probably Facebook will remind us soon enough.
Yeah. Dwayne, before we talk about our networking event that you're going to be an exhibitor at later, because I do want to talk about taxes. Tax seasons is coming up. But the networking side, you mentioned Joey Garcia. I've known Joey for 3 decades now. And he actually introduced me to Michael Young, who's one of our global Land for Success members in Hong Kong. Right. So that's how I met Michael. And now I'm introducing Michael to a great friend of mine, Sir Dr. James Dentley, that I've known for 4 decades. And we're looking at how can, so full circle, right? From Oakville, Ontario to Hong Kong to Chicago to Miami. And that's what I love about networking, right? And so we'll talk about that a little bit later. In terms of taxes, tax season is coming up. Tax season is coming up. Are there a couple of tips that you can give to folks to get ready before they file their taxes?
Yeah, there are a couple, and it's surprising. Like we just ran our number, or I ran kind of our numbers, but specifically ran Charmaine's numbers last week. Gordon, she's where she works at a corporate job, and she's making contributions on a regular basis.
She's making real money. She's making
real money. Yeah. But so what we did is we put, and then she actually had, not sure too much, but she actually had two jobs last year. So she was on contract, and then she became full time. And so with that, she actually double paid CPP and EI, and that's quite common. Like if you switch jobs during the year, you're going to double pay. So what we ended up doing was we put in, like, you don't have to even wait for your T4. You can just use your last pay stub, like your December 31st pay stub if you're an employee. So we put those numbers into the system and kind of calculate it out to say, like, if we were to top up the RSP, it was kind of like just get a generic, like a really, like, where do we sit? And before March 1st, and definitely before April 30th. So it's kind of surprising. I'll send out some reminders to clients. And Charmaine's like, it's kind of odd that you're not busier, like in February, like crunching some draft preliminary planned numbers to help advise clients, even though that I don't have them as, like, they're not my financial advising clients because I'm not in that business anymore. But I've done it for a handful of clients just to kind of say, hey, like, if you were to top up your RSP or put money into your, the first home savings account or the TFSA, like, what, if I had some money, where should I put it for the best kind of current tax situation, but also the future tax situation? So I'm sure we have a bit of time yet. It's mid-February, and the RSP, there's still RSP season. So people still kind of make contributions during the year, but the March 1st deadline. So we'll probably be a bit busier in the next couple of weeks, just helping people do some calculations. And if people want some help doing that, they definitely can reach out and kind of give them some rough numbers on how to go about doing a preliminary tax calculation before any surprises on April 30th. April 30th is a little bit late, Gordon. Taxes are due on April 30th. If you're just running your numbers in April, it's a little bit too much. Like, there's nothing else you can do to kind of help out your tax situation if you're waiting till April.
Yeah. So what would you recommend to people? I know, often I used to be like that, right? Waiting till the last minute to put everything together.
It's super important for, like, self-employed people, because, like, self-employed people, like, you're supposed to be, if you're making money. So there are self-employed people making money out there. Not all self-employed people have, like, business, like, loss after loss after loss. And the important is, like, April 30th also isn't when your taxes are due. That's when your final installments due. But if you were supposed to be making installments during the year, and the other important thing is coming up is, like, March 15th. March 15th is the installment date for the new tax season. Gordon, not for the 2025 tax season, but for the 2026 tax year.
Wow.
March 15th is the first, if you're making quarterly installments, March 15th is the first installment for the new tax year. So again, super important to run your numbers kind of January. I ran mine for January. I'll run it for February to kind of say, okay, what pace am I on? And what's my projected taxes owing for the new year? Because CRA kind of wants they want their money.
They want their money, yes.
And if you don't, it's 10%, right? So it's like you're not making 10% keeping it in your bank account. So you might as well make some installments to them along the way.
Love it. I do have a question for you, because sometimes we think that maybe we owe money to the CRA. So I know you are very humble about your success and what you've been able to do for some of your clients. I love when you share with me clients who may not have filed for several years, right? And they think that they owe the CRA money, but it's actually been the opposite. Without naming any names, could you maybe share something like that's happened for your clients?
Yeah, Gordon, and it's important for people to realize that the tax return itself is the mechanism for other things. So when I say other things, if you're especially if you're a single parent, right? If you have single parent, you have young kids, you're eligible for the CCB, the Canadian Child Care Benefit. But if you don't file your tax return by July 1st, they cut you off. But they'll restart it and they'll pay you the retroactive, like they'll go back, but they don't know how much you're eligible for until you file the tax return. So it's super important to realize that the tax return, yes, there's the tax piece, but they also use the tax return for government credits. And those credits include the CCB, the Canadian Child Benefit, the GST, HST quarterly credits. For Ontario, it's the Trillium benefits for kind of the energy and rent piece. So what I found was that, and also like there's also the working tax credit. So if you're earning less than 30,000, you're potentially eligible. So what I found, Gordon, was that we filed those tax returns for multiple years for a client, and they thought they owed, and then even if they owed a little bit, and they didn't, but they thought, like sometimes they thought, oh, I owe this little bit, but they were eligible for like $1,000 per year of government credits.
Wow.
And if you owe, what the government will do is like they'll take your GST like the GST credit, and they'll apply it to past amount owing, and they'll net out, and then you get the difference. And then, Gordon, it's just that it's the confidence and just the immediate reduction of stress when you're up to date.
Reduction of stress.
Reduction of stress, like immediately, because as soon as you're up to date, if you get some phishing phone call, like that you're in good standing with CRA. So if someone calls you to say, Gordon, I'm calling you, and you're coming to arrest you, and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird because I'm up to date on all of my stuff with CRA. So like, it's not true. But when you're not up to date, it might be true.
Wow. Love it. Dwayne, is there, throw me a dollar amount. Like, have you gotten some of your clients back $100, $1,000? Like what's the number that, is that something you could share?
Yeah, like it's kind of like when you put it into ChatGPT, and it says, well, it depends. So I was asking AI this afternoon just for some metrics around YouTube, right? They said like who's on YouTube, who's on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could do a game. Have you gotten your clients more than $1,000 back?
Yeah. So sometimes it's like, if we look at, I helped a client that I met through that came through a presentation at the library, and she hadn't filed taxes for like 13 years. She had a strategy. So her strategy was
13 years, lucky 13.
So she had a strategy because she knew she was going to get a refund. And so her strategy was she wasn't going to file her tax returns until later. And then when she filed them all, and it would be kind of like a forced savings. So she would get this lump sum money once she filed her tax returns, which is a strategy, and it did work, right? Like she did get a refund. There's two main problems with that strategy. Is number one is they don't give you any interest. So even if she would have filed that return, just put in a high interest savings account, she would have earned a little bit more money on her money, and Revenue Canada didn't pay her any interest. Number two is, Gordon, if for some reason you over contribute to CPP or EI, you can only get that credit back 4 years. So
4 years.
4 years. Anything more than 4 years, right, you don't get that CPP money back.
Okay.
So if you're filing a return from 5 years ago and you paid an extra $100 in CPP, it gets rejected. So we have to take that credit out. So there's all, I get and I understand kind of now it's like part psychologist, part CPA. Is there's real like people have had real, even before COVID, people had some real challenges and struggles, and just life happened to them and overwhelmed, and so not filing their tax return kind of went to the bottom of the priority list. I understand that.
Yes.
And unfortunately, what I'm able to do is kind of walk them through the process to get started. And we just start with filing 1 year, and then filing the second, the third, the fourth, and then eventually we get caught up. And then what I love, Gordon, is it's a bit of a personal. It's not about like it's not an ego thing, but just when you get messages back from them, and just kind of the relief, and sometimes it's the shock.
Yeah.
Like how shocking that and how those credits potentially can really like change. Like I have one client where we actually still got to go back and file some other years, but we got the first year tax return filed for them fairly quickly. And so his refund was actually allowed him to like pay his rent.
His refund allowed him to pay his rent. That's quite a bit of money coming back, right? Instead of losing sleep.
And then the other one that's super important now, Gordon, is for seniors, as you approach kind of the 60 and 65, because now seniors are eligible for the medical, like the medical and dental, but you can't get the dental plan like through the CRA if you're behind, like if you haven't filed a tax return. So you have to be up to date. You have to have filed your, now like this year it's coming up again. So if you're behind and you don't file 2025, then those benefits stop until you filed your tax return. So again, with this client, we helped get his 2024 filed first. So then he was eligible, diabetes, there's like a specific medication that he needs. So then as soon as we got that tax return filed, you take the notice of assessment, and you can go and you can apply and you can get your drug benefits covered, right? So that's why I said there's so many different things in Canada that are driven by the tax return, like the T1 tax return itself, that it's super important for people to kind of realize that, to move it up the priority list of things to get done, and really start getting organized now. So again, I have clients that are, you're starting to get tax slips, or you're getting their T4s, and if they're retired, maybe they're getting their T4 RSP, their T4 RIF, their T3s and their T5s, and their mortgage statements, their property tax bill, and
that's a lot, eh? That's the reason why. That's where you
donation slips, and then medical. So then now, like for a lot of seniors, medical's covered. But one of my clients literally just messaged me this afternoon. So he's uploading his documents. He's like, oh, I was going to the chiropractor and my benefits ran out, and I continued to go to the chiropractor and paid out of pocket for like 15 more visits. So he has all of his chiropractor receipts. So we will claim those under the he'll get a tax credit under medical benefits or medical expenses on his personal return.
Oh, that's incredible. Dwayne, I remember years ago, I said to one of my accountants, I said, how much would it cost me for you to do my returns? And his answer was, Gordon, it's not how much it's going to cost. It's how much it's going to cost you to not have me, right, actually do your tax returns to get you some money back. Thank you so much for your time. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what do you think is the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, just send a message here on through Facebook Messenger is pretty easy, because they're watching us here. Pretty easy just to kind of find me and send a message through Messenger. They comment on the video. They comment on the video here, and then I can message them. It's pretty easy. Dwayne Richards CPA. You can just go to Google and see all those amazing, all the awesome. I'm actually in the process right now of drafting an email to send out to my clients, because a lot of clients have done reviews for me, and I was just writing a review for the restaurant we went to on Saturday, and then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of using that as a story to say, hey, like as I was writing this review, I realized like, oh, I haven't done, not a bad job, but I haven't done a recent kind of ask for the reviews. And
Yes.
even my chiropractor, I just got a text message from them this afternoon. I went to see him last Monday, and they sent me a text message this morning saying, "Hey, thanks for your recent visit. Here's a link to our Google review. Would you mind leaving a review?" So I'll probably go jump in and get that done today too. It's kind of fun, Gordon, because like as Google reviewers, we get points. I don't think you get anything, but it's just kind of fun to do it. It's like give to get kind of thing, right? To say, hey, like if you want, like if you would like Google reviews, like when was the last time you wrote a Google review? So I'm going to do 2 today. I'm going to overachieve. I did the one for the restaurant, and then I'm going to jump in and do one for my chiropractor, and then I'm going to send out my email asking for my clients and just
Well, Dwayne, before we talk about the event on the 21st, Command Your Success, I know you're going to be an exhibitor there. We have a networking event, some speakers, and so on. I got a question for you. This is kind of a little bit of a selfish question for our Land for Success community, because, you know, Dwayne, not only have you supported us by being a global VIP member, you're also a author in our Land for Success bestseller series, Land for Success Untold Stories. And in terms of our membership, you were able to connect with one of our global Land for Success members who's a Google ranking expert. And people talk about ranking experts all the time. I mean, I've paid people to rank my Google business profiles and it didn't work. What was your experience? Would you mind if I ask, or am I giving away your secret sauce?
No, it's okay. It's all good. It's important to like maintain it as well. So the experience was really good. And so what we had, and mine was a little bit, what we've discovered is mine was a little bit easier because my practice is as a sole proprietor, so I'm not incorporated. And so we were able to do my Google profile is on my personal account. And what we've learned is that that's a bit easier than if it's a business account. So if you're running like a incorporated accounting practice, it's running on your business account, and that's not it. It still can work. It's just it was a little bit easier for me, I guess. And it was really good. There was kind of like, I don't remember them all, but there was like seven key things. So it was like, hey, having a founding date, right? So it's all that information on your Google profile that's super important to be complete. So it's like, and for me, it's kind of like if you can have keywords in your name. So it's Dwayne Richards CPA. So like my number one search word in Google is CPA. So I had the advantage that it's CPAs in my business name. It was important to, we did something, we tweaked something recently, Gordon, which was the hours. So I used to put like the hours of operation was kind of like 9 to 5. And then I was talking to someone I met through my meetup group, and he was saying he actually runs a bridal boutique.
Bridal boutique.
And so he actually has his hours like 7 to 11.
Wow.
And like, do people come in at 11 o'clock at night? And he's like, no, but it's by appointment only.
Okay.
So it's not like they're coming to his physical store at 11 o'clock at night. What it does though, is if people are searching, if your hours of operation are open, they naturally bump you up.
Wow, that's a nice little secret.
So I went and changed my hours of operation.
Okay.
So I said my hours of operation are like 8 till 10.
Yeah.
Because again, no one's stopping by my home office. But if someone's at home after work and they go to Google Maps and they type in CPA and it's 7 o'clock at night, it shows that I'm open, and therefore it would boost that search. So then I put that I'm open on Saturdays because I'm like, well, why not? Like I have a landline, so my landline's attached. So if someone wants to call, they can. Or people literally, they just go and they click through the Calendly link and they just book their calls like for a future date anyway. So that was one thing, like new kind of caveat that we've, and I probably should have made a note what I changed it maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I probably next time I'll remember to
Wow.
kind of go back and make a mental note and then
Love
look
it.
to say, how's my Google search and how are the
Yeah.
Google results? Like,
I love that little tip. I'm going to try that on ours, changing the dates.
yeah,
Have people been finding you? Have you been getting new clients on Google?
yeah. And then we recently, again, I recently updated. So this is probably will have a bit of initially probably maybe a little bit of a negative impact on it. So again, I was always running off of our old home office address of downtown on George Street. And so now with the guys I'm working with, we switched it to like the address is hidden, and then we put a larger catchment. So then the catchment, like if you go to my Google listing, it shows kind of not all of Toronto, but it's this larger area. So the local search isn't as good, but we're still like I still got clients in the last couple of weeks. Sometimes now I actually got a client that's in like Bloor West Village on the West End. So potentially you have this, and then you just have to do other thing. So that's going back to like making sure, and this is what we're going to work on next is posting new content on the Google, like on the Google page.
Love
and I haven't done that very well. And then the other piece is, so the two kind of ongoing things that we're going to do next is asking for updated reviews. Probably because my last review is probably like 3 months old. I get a bunch during tax season, but so we're going to get updated reviews and then start posting just like tax tips and things, like infographics kind of thing on the Google listing, so that when people do go to
here's my ask, Dwayne. So for the folks who are watching, if you enjoyed some of the tips from Dwayne, go to Dwayne's, Dwayne Richards, CPA, and leave him a 5-star Google review. Dwayne,
hey, we learned something.
Again, in terms of membership, anybody that's watching, I really recommend that you go check it out and see if you can network with some of our CPAs or financial planners or realtors or AI consultants and so on. Literally just not just here at home, but from all around the world. Dwayne, can we finish with this? You're going to be an exhibitor at the Command Your Success event, February 21st. Yeah. So for the folks who want to attend, there's 3 options. You can grab a complimentary ticket. Dwayne and I each have 5 complimentary tickets. If you're interested in coming, reach out to Dwayne, reach out to myself, or the best value is our VIP lunch. That includes lunch and the entire day, the exhibitor's booth, event, and so on. What can folks expect from you, Dwayne, on the day when they meet you at your booth?
Yeah, probably I'll probably have a couple things at the booths. I still have a box of 2026 calendars. So everyone likes, I think I can't really see it. I have it on the wall over this. Everyone likes a nice wall calendar.
I still use your pens.
I have, and there'll be some pens there too. Everyone loves a good pen. Gordon, I'll save that side. I'll save the side tour at the wrap up. I got another marketing tip when I was at the Target golf simulator yesterday. I think what I will have, and then it'll be a couple of really quick checklists. I just recently created 2 new checklists. One for just regular T1 tax return filers, and then I just created a new checklist for anyone who's self-employed or has a home-based business. So I think it's a 3-page kind of checklist of kind of whole whack of what types of expenses are deductible, and by category. So it's by category. So your car, your home office, your marketing, entertainment, food. And so it's about a 3-page checklist for home-based business. And so I have it set up as a PDF. So likely what I have set up, when they stop by at the table, I'll have the QR code, and our little WhatsApp marketing trick where they can just send a message and then get the free download of those 2 checklists
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want to copy that checklist myself. Well, Dwayne, once again, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're extremely busy. It's tax season. You've got clients that you got to take care of, but you're here. Any final thoughts for our audience, for a listener before you go?
No, just for them, like just for the speak, nothing else. Just for this, like, come see us on the 21st. Just for the keynote speakers that who are going to be speaking. I know a couple of our colleagues. Kula is going to be there. It'd be good to see him again. I met Kula first back in like 2013 at an event. And I think our friend Greg's going to be doing something with the
sure.
AI. With the AI tool, right? So
yeah,
those two people alone is more like, you just listen to those two people present on Saturday, and you'll get more than your money's worth.
I mean, you got Kula coming back from his business trip from Thailand, right? China. His business has exploded. When I look out the window every day in our neighborhood, I see intercity trucks that are delivering Amazon packages. Right. And you and I remember there was a time when he almost went broke. And then he started, now he's got a fleet of trucks, delivers through Amazon, done tens of millions of dollars with Amazon. And I don't know if it's manifestation, whatever, but Amazon's warehouse ended up opening it right across from his office.
It's right there, right?
And then he invested in a company called Knowledge Hook that's now valued at close to $1 billion. So if you ever want to meet someone who's built a company from scratch that's become a unicorn, come and meet Kula. Come and meet Dwayne if you want to save more taxes, right? Come and meet Greg with AI Pando on how you can write your content, use AI to write your content. If you're like me and you can't write, let AI write it for you, create your images, schedule it automatically to come out to 13 different social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn. So yeah, you're right, Dwayne. There's other speakers. There's other, like you have Dr. Rhonda Kalu from the Neural Change Institute. So there's a lot of exciting things that day. But I'm excited about our guests being able to come and meet and talk to you about taxes.
It's a great time. It's that one time a year where people are kind of want to talk to the accountant, right? So yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Gordon, is good. I know I got to go get a little side. I'm gonna go get my haircut before this week. Get the haircut before next week, so I look presentable. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, Dwayne, we talked about, again, when you're a member of Land for Success, it's about networking. I sent a message to our good friend, Sir Dr. James Dentley, and he said, I can't talk to you right now. I'm in the barber chair getting a haircut. And now he's in a cruise somewhere warm. So
he was. I saw a photo. He was on the same cruise as our friend Darren Jacklin.
Darren Jacklin, yes. He's always on a cruise. I think this year.
I don't know if it was a cruise. I don't know if it was just a cruise for sirs, but it seems that the two knighted men were hanging out on the cruise together.
Well, let me ask you this: can you write off a cruise? How do you write off a cruise?
Well, they do. So one of our colleagues, someone know, they were just on a market. It was like a
marketer's cruise, yeah.
The marketer's cruise, right? So someone's. I know one of our other colleagues will do retreats for his. It's like a group of authors, and he's held retreats where people come and hang out at the retreat. And they work on their business. One of my clients, she goes to and hosts retreats, and she said that she actually gets clients at retreat. Oh, she's at someone else's mastermind or retreat.
That's a great idea.
She meets clients, and so for her services. So she's at a retreat about, say, marketing or something.
Yeah.
She's not taking marketing. She does specific work with women. So while they're at the retreat, and so it's like, it's going to be like February 21st, Gordon. Just because it's your event, people can come and meet other people, and chances are there's going to be someone in the room that may become your client, and you didn't have to host the event. You just came to attend the event. I know we're looking to go back to Costa Rica in May, and I was trying to see if I could find like 2 or 3 clients that want to come with us and spend, like, not the whole week, but spend a little bit of time each day, kind of work, like doing some business stuff. So then that trip to Costa Rica becomes tax deductible. So there's strategies to it, right?
Amazing. And if folks are watching and you guys are looking for strategies as you're a business owner, entrepreneur, reach out to Dwayne.
And I'm going to take a tip from Gordon, because Gordon's like has people like take him for lunch. So Gordon, I went to the Target golf simulator yesterday, and I got there. Anyways, I won't tell you the side story. It's just the side story. So I get there, and there's a gentleman like standing outside waiting, and so it's really cool because there's no. It's up at Lawrence and Warden, and so there's no people. It's kind of a back office, like warehouse, and there's a scan code, and so so my time was for 1 o'clock. So at like 5 to 1, the code activates, and you just have your phone. It sends you the code, and you hit, and it automatically unlocks the door. You go in, and at 1 o'clock the lights turn on automatically, and at 2 o'clock the lights turn off automatically. Wow. So I met this gentleman there, and then like how you take people for lunch. I'm like, I already have the membership, so and then
you should do that.
I'm thinking that if somebody wants to come and hit golf balls, just come and we'll hit golf balls where it's nice and warm. Like, you don't have to like trudge down. There's like no like wandering into the woods looking for your golf ball.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, right, Dwayne? Because you're a golf pro. Like you golf. I don't golf, right? So I love eating. I love eating dim sum. So when I have a client, they can either pay me $100 or they could take me out for dinner. So I've had a few people who have taken me out for lunch. But I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk a few weeks ago, and he said, you guys just get online, talk about what you do. He says, talk about going for walks. There are people who are lonely that may even want to pay you to go for walks, right?
I have a client out in Oshawa, and I'm trying to convince him because he's looking for like different things. And I'm like, just a small scale, because he has a day job, right? So it's like, not like you're trying to make rent on, but I'm like, just go and like be the organizer, right, Gordon? Like lots of people will go to experience, and that's what Gary was talking about now, like kind of live, like in-person things. So just be the organizer. So I was on the phone. One last thing, I was on the phone. Maybe we'll just as a landed for success. I was on the phone on Friday with a joint friend of ours, and we were talking about maybe we'll do a disc golf event this summer.
See, now I can do that. I can't hit a golf club.
Yeah, but I have the disc,
right?
And you just have to throw. And there's a course down in Ashbridges Bay. There's one in Maryland Bell Park, in the West End, East End, right? So I will talk to you about maybe we'll do it as a Landed for Success sponsored.
Let's do it.
Disc golf event here we'll start with the one here in the East End at Ashbridges.
That would be good. Close to home.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Gordon.
All right, thank you so much, Dwayne. And everyone, thank you for being here. And until the next time, everyone have an amazing day.
On the 21st. Be there.
Yeah, on the 21st.